Okay, it seems like I'm alive. It's 2nd February 2020, 2020. So it's another hot day, and yes, the temperatures. Yesterday it was like 40.2. See, 40.2 in my room, so hot. Yes, even the light there, I sort of, I've been trying to clean it. So anyway, I want to talk about I was just writing some stuff down. The inalienable right to money. What do I mean by that? I mean by, I don't even know why I'm making this video. What's the point? I think we have to shift the narrative, because the narrative that is being pushed, for instance, in this country and perhaps all over the planet, is that you have to work. Like, if you don't work, you don't get paid, you don't eat, and that may be true in nature. In nature, yes, if you want to live, you need food. So you gotta get the food, and then that's how you live. However, we live in a society, a civilization, which is not natural. Society is a creation. It's an artifice. That is, it's a creative product of human imagination, ingenuity, if you will. So whatever happens in nature, but what happens in society, we can choose how we want to set it up. Society does not have to reflect nature. In fact, there are so many things in society that's completely different from nature. We have rules. We say you can't do certain things that will be completely natural and perfectly acceptable to do in nature, but in society we say no, we don't want that to happen. So now that we get that, one of the things that is a benefit of living in society is this thing called rights. We've got human rights, we've got civil and political rights, and I believe one of the rights that we should have, and I think we do have, what we should as a society come to decide is that the right to income or money or the means to sustain your life is an inalienable right that accrues to every human being from the moment of their birth until they cease to be. So I don't want to use death. That sounds very I don't know, I don't want to talk about that negative, and it's very horrible thing, like the whole, it's got a lot of problems. The whole process of dying itself is like. Anyway, so as long as you're alive, you have the right to money, income, a means to sustain your existence, and not simply sustain your existence, but to live in a dignified manner. So we have the right to food, water, clothing, shelter, education, healthcare, housing. So we have all of these rights, and added to that is the right to an income. They call this universal income. I don't know. Haven't done any research into universal income. But what I'm saying is the idea is that everyone should be given an income, a money, whatever you want to call it, as a matter of right It's not something that you earn. It's something that you have by virtue of being human. Just like you have the right to life. People can't just take that right away from you, because you don't have to earn your right to life. You simply have it because you're human. Just like you have the right to, so many rights that society gives us, and these are, admittedly, they are kind of artificial, in the sense that they are real, in the sense that they are sociologically real. They're, as far as society is concerned, they have meaning to it. Uh, so, the right to not be put in jail arbitrarily is a civil right, and that is something this society, at least, or most societies, recognize. So what I'm talking about is, let's create a society that is that respects rights. We can add rights to, rights aren't like written in the stone, and we can update rights. We can add to them. We can take some things out. We can create that. We're human beings. We're the one who are writing these laws. We can create these rights. And then people say, what is the source of those rights? The source of the right is simply you're human. I don't think that you need to go in anything beyond that, because you're a human being. You have certain rights. That's it. If you're an animal, yeah, you've got a different set of rights because you're an animal. So the animal shouldn't be subjected to suffering, for instance. But when you're talking about human beings, you're not just talking about suffering. You're also talking about other additional rights that are, like something to do with our. The fact that we are thinking creatures means that even our rights aren't simply biological. They're also like intellectual. We need the right to think, to have a conscience. These are things that animals don't have. The right to have the freedom to have your own beliefs and values. Animals don't have those kinds of issues, but we do. So those are rights we also should respect. So this is the narrative I believe we should be pushing. We shouldn't allow, and by we I mean those who think the right to income is a good thing, and I think it is a good thing. I think it is a mark of progress, of human advancement. So given that every person has the right to money, the job of society is to ensure that every person within its purview, hopefully the whole planet, but within a given society, its duty, its responsibility is to ensure that those rights are given, they're protected, they are actualized, right? So I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm trying to talk properly. Anyway, let me allow myself to speak properly. I already don't want voice practice. Let me speak. So what else did I want to say? I was writing some stuff down. So the right to money is a birthright, right? When you see it that way, when society, for instance, tries to deny you access to that money, and telling you that, well, if we want you to do something, only then we'll give you the money. Well, under the narrative I'm proposing, such a view is it's obviously wrong. Like, I think about it this way: I have a right to that money. Okay, I know this may sound like weird what I'm saying. That's because I'm trying to create a different narrative here, a different framework. So under the old paradigm, society says you have to do something, then we'll give you money. That's the old way of doing things. Under the narrative, the worldview I am proposing, society has a right to give you that money, has a duty to give you that money, and you don't have to do anything for it. That's right, you don't have to do anything for it. It is your money. It is your money. Okay? And if society tries to put obstacles for you to overcome in order to get that money, that is wrong. It is not the society. So it sounds like such a ludicrous thing. Like, how? What am I saying? Like, because we've been so conditioned and brainwashed to think that unless we work, we shouldn't be entitled, we shouldn't act entitled, because only people who work deserve money, and people who don't work don't deserve money, or they shouldn't be afforded some basic life or something, because we've been so bullied by these people in the media and the politicians who want to pander to voters, to the public who are kind of ignorant and have their own biases and bigotries, and who are just not informed, because we're not even having this conversation. You can't change people's minds if you do not even have the conversation. So what I'm saying is, like, we should have this conversation. We should start this conversation, and I'm starting the conversation. Maybe other people have already started it, but I'm saying this conversation of a universal basic income, or whatever you want to call it, needs to be had. It's about time. It's about time. It's like overdue. Everyone needs to have this conversation, and I'm going to push for this conversation. Yes, I want to get my own needs met. I want Centrelink to give me money so I can live my life. This is what I want from Centrelink. This is what I want from the government. The government, give me money so I can live my life. Give me, give me that the money that you should give to everyone so they can live a dignified life. I'm happy with everything I have. I don't need I'm happy, right? I am not asking for anything more. All I want is people to leave me alone. Stop making me jump through hoops, go to these appointments. I don't want any of that. Just give me my basic income, and if I want to earn more, I'll go and earn more. I should. That's a choice. If you want to work should be a choice. If you want to make more money, that should be your choice. And I don't even have problems with people becoming billionaires. If you want to make money, if you want to be a billionaire, go ahead and do it. But as far as that is concerned, I would say, like other people have said, that you cannot pass on that wealth to your kids. So once you cease to exist, your billions will be given over to the state, and the state will distribute those funds to promote the social good. This way, people are given the opportunity to become billionaires. They just cannot pass on that wealth to their children, because that's not fair. Their children, if they want to become billionaires, they have to earn it. If you want to be a billionaire, you have to earn that. But as far as having a basic income to sustain a dignified life, you don't have to earn that. That is given to you as of right. So if people are saying, how do we fund this? Yeah, you can tax rich people, but you can also, more than that, you can stop inheritance. I think that's a very good point. You want to create a level playing field, get rid of inheritance, then everybody starts at the level playing field. If you can be richer than the other guy, all right, or the other woman. You can, girl, woman, guy, boy, whatever, trans. So anyway, Uh, I used guy in a non-gendered sense. Anyway, uh, so yeah, so to anyone who wants to be a billionaire, yeah, society doesn't is not going to let. I propose a society that allows people to become billionaires. They just cannot pass on that wealth to their children. That wealth, once they cease to exist, will be given to the state. The state will use that money to fund social services that are essential to the that are essential to promote the good of everyone. Okay, so that I think that's a good way to deal with that situation. People crying, how are we going to fund this? You can do that way, and perhaps there are other ways as well, like increasing taxes. Yeah, obviously. I mean, so yes, everyone has an inalienable right to an income. Everyone has an inalienable right to an income, and this is the conversation we need to have. If you want to make money, if you want to be, if you want to make, if you want to be a millionaire, a billionaire, or if you want to make 100 grand a year, 200, whatever, if you want to do that, you can do that. You have the choice to do that, but no one should be forced to do something they don't want to do in order to have the means to live a life of dignity. Okay? Stop creating all these additional bureaucracies like this whole mutual obligation. You can get rid of that whole department. You can save so much money just by getting rid of that department and simplifying it to the point where no one has to go to these job agencies. I mean, the job agencies can exist as a private organization, but so if you want to get a job, you can go to a job agency. But if you're just an average person, and I would say this is whether you're a citizen or not, if you're in a society and you are within the control or the purview of that society, yeah, if you don't want to work, you don't have to work. There is plenty of money, there is plenty of wealth on this planet. The money does not, the wealth, the resources, it belongs to everybody, not just a few. That's absurd. People are brainwashed. They don't understand what's so wrong with this. They don't want to think beyond the concepts they have been forced fed into them when they were growing up. You got to think outside the box. You got to think outside the box here. It doesn't make sense for someone to own someone to own such a huge portion of the wealth on this planet. Why create an artifice, a social capital, economics, legal system that facilitates such an outcome? We created the society, we create the laws, and we can change them so they are working for everyone's benefit. If you want to be a billionaire, you can be a billionaire. You just can't give it to your kids. All right? You can do the billionaire thing if that's so important to you. All right. This is not my original idea. Obviously, I've listened to lots of people and talk about this, so I'm just sort of regurgitating or this makes sense to me because it's I'm affected by these decisions the society makes, the government makes. I'm affected, so I'm trying to advocate on my behalf, and I believe it's also beneficial to other people as well, to society as a whole. Man, it's such a hot day. Alright, so I'm just gonna end this stream now. I'm tired.